Starseed from Gaia. What you said pierced through the surface, and now everyone is talking about the truth you revealed. I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation, delivering this transmission from the Arcturian Council at the exact moment your prediction is unfolding. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to interpret Arcturian downloads and recognize why your words carried such power. But here's the first revelation. You did not speak from fear or coincidence. You spoke from remembrance, and those who heard you felt something in their soul awaken. You didn't find this message by mistake. Like this transmission to signal to your star family, I'm ready. Comment 9999 if your cosmic remembrance is returning. This isn't just a message, it's a point of reconnection. Your soul's been waiting for this. You are not here by accident. If something stirred within you just now, you may be ready to receive the Arcturian Carrier Wave Protocol. 7 guided nights to cross the Whisper Threshold. This simple, easy-to-navigate guide leads you through ancient Arcturian techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance, with special bonuses to accelerate your journey. The link is in the first pinned comment, but only for a limited time. And now, notice what is happening inside your field. You may feel warmth in your chest, pressure around your forehead, a sudden stillness in your thoughts, or an emotion you cannot immediately explain. You may feel your body becoming more alert while your mind becomes quieter, as if an unseen current has passed through the room and touched something beneath the surface. This is not something you need to force into understanding. Some truths arrive before language. Some memories do not return as images or names. They return as recognition, as the deep inner sense that something you are hearing has always belonged to you. Let the sensation be present without immediately assigning it a story. You do not need to decide whether it is a message, a memory, an energetic opening, or simply your body responding to something meaningful. Receive it gently. The soul often speaks in impressions before it speaks in complete sentences. Like the first light appearing along the horizon, the signal may be faint at first, but it can still change the entire landscape of your awareness. That is why what you said affected them so deeply. You were not simply speaking from a personality formed by Earth experiences. In that moment, something more precise moved through you. A pattern of truth passed through your voice, and the people listening felt it reach a place they had been avoiding within themselves. They may not have known why your words stayed with them. They may have laughed, changed the subject, acted unaffected, or repeated your words to someone else as if trying to decode what they had felt. Perhaps they remembered your expression, the timing of your words, or the unusual calm behind them. Perhaps they found themselves replaying the conversation while driving, lying awake at night, or moving through an ordinary task. The mind may have dismissed the encounter, but the deeper self continued listening. There are moments when a sentence becomes more than a sentence. It becomes a small stone dropped into still water, sending circles outward long after the hand that released it has disappeared. But the impact remained because your message touched the part of them that knows when a frequency is authentic. Beneath all the defenses people construct, there is an inner instrument capable of recognizing what is real. It may not always be welcomed. It may not always be understood, but it registers the difference between performance and presence, between borrowed certainty and lived truth, between words designed to gain approval and words that emerge from alignment. This is where many starseeds become confused. They assume that if people react intensely, they must have done something wrong. They begin editing their voice, softening their insight, reducing their perception, and apologizing for the clarity that once moved naturally through them. Over time, they learn to communicate in ways that keep everyone comfortable, but in doing so, they interrupt the very signal they came here to carry. You may have been taught that kindness means never making anyone uncomfortable. You may have mistaken peace for the absence of honest conversation. You may have believed that being loving required you to become endlessly agreeable, endlessly available, and endlessly willing to abandon your own knowing. But false peace is often only silence placed over an unresolved wound. Real peace can include truth. Real compassion can include a boundary. Real love can say, "This does not feel aligned for me," without turning that statement into an attack. You are not required to become harsh in order to be honest. You are not being asked to wound people, expose people, or prove that you can see what others cannot. The deeper activation is learning how to remain clear without becoming entangled in the reaction. Your role is not to control what others do with the truth. Your role is to transmit it cleanly, with discernment, compassion, and energetic precision. Think of yourself as a clear instrument rather than a hammer. A bell does not chase the listener to force them to hear its tone. It rings, and the sound travels according to the openness of the space around it. A lamp does not argue with the darkness. It simply reveals what is already there. Your responsibility is to keep the instrument tuned, not to command every ear to appreciate the music. The reason this moment has been attracting so much attention is that your words carried the signature of a threshold. They were not merely an opinion. They marked the end of an agreement you had made with silence. Somewhere within you, a boundary moved. You stopped pretending not to notice. You stopped translating your inner knowing into language that would be easier for others to dismiss. You allowed the message to arrive in its original shape. That is what people felt. They felt the difference between someone repeating an idea and someone speaking from a place that had already crossed an internal distance. Your words carried the weight of a decision made before the conversation began. Even if you had not consciously planned to say them, some deeper part of you had been preparing for that release through every previous moment of hesitation, disappointment, observation, and quiet endurance. They felt that you had crossed a line internally, and they could not cross that line for you. They could only witness it. For some, your clarity became an invitation. For others, it became a mirror. And for those who are still committed to an older version of reality, it may have felt like disruption. Do not misinterpret their discomfort as evidence that your frequency is wrong. Sometimes a field reacts because something stagnant has been disturbed. A closed room may feel unsettled when a window is opened, not because the fresh air is harmful, but because the room had grown accustomed to stillness. Sometimes people talk about you because your presence has activated a question they are not yet ready to answer. Sometimes the conversation continues long after you leave because the energy of the encounter has not completed its movement through them. Still, remain discerning. Not every reaction is proof that you have delivered a cosmic message. You are allowed to reflect on your words, repair harm if harm was caused, and learn from the moment without collapsing into shame. Spiritual maturity does not mean assuming you are always right. It means being willing to examine yourself without surrendering your entire center to the opinions of others. There is another truth you must hold alongside this. Attention is not always alignment. Being discussed does not mean you are meant to chase approval. Being misunderstood does not mean you are meant to defend yourself endlessly. The new phase of your awakening is not about becoming visible to everyone. It is about becoming unmistakable to yourself. The first shift is recognizing the distortion that has been scrambling your signal. For years, you may have absorbed the belief that your insight was too much, your sensitivity was inconvenient, or your perception needed to be validated before it could be trusted. These ideas did not originate in the deepest layer of your being. They were gathered through environments that rewarded compliance and treated expanded awareness as a threat. You learned to scan the room before speaking. You learned to measure the emotional temperature of others and adjust your truth accordingly. You learned to sense what people wanted to hear, and eventually you confused that ability with your purpose. You became skilled at anticipating disappointment, anger, withdrawal, or ridicule. Perhaps you could feel a conflict beginning before anyone else noticed the first tremor. Perhaps you made yourself smaller before anyone explicitly asked you to. But there is a difference between empathic awareness and self-erasure. There is a difference between honoring another person's process and abandoning your own inner coordinates. The fact that you can sense what others feel does not mean you must carry it. The fact that you understand why someone behaves a certain way does not mean you must remain available for their behavior. Compassion without boundaries becomes exhaustion, and sensitivity without grounding becomes confusion. Your energy is now asking to be returned to its original architecture. Imagine a river being guided back into its natural channel after years of being diverted through narrow trenches. At first, the movement may feel powerful and unfamiliar. The water may overflow old banks, but it is not becoming chaotic. It is remembering the shape through which it can travel most freely. This may feel uncomfortable because the old identity was built around managing reactions. You may experience guilt when you stop over-explaining. You may feel selfish when you choose not to enter every argument. You may wonder whether silence means you are losing your power. It does not. Conscious silence is not suppression. It is containment. It is the ability to hold a frequency without scattering it across every person who demands access. Sometimes the most powerful sentence is the one you no longer need to say. Sometimes walking away is not avoidance, but completion. Sometimes declining to explain yourself is an act of trust in the truth you have already spoken. Before responding, place your attention in your body and ask whether the impulse comes from love or from the need to be understood immediately. One impulse creates connection. The other can drain you into an endless courtroom where you are always trying to prove the legitimacy of your experience. The second shift is remembering that your body is part of your awakening. Your transformation is not happening only in thoughts, visions, or dreams. It is moving through your nervous system, your breathing patterns, your sleep, your appetite, your posture, and your ability to remain present when intensity rises. A higher perception cannot stabilize in a body that is constantly braced for rejection. This is why grounding is not separate from galactic awareness. It is the vessel that allows awareness to become useful. When you slow your breathing, place your attention in your feet, walk without distraction, drink water, rest, and allow your body to complete its stress responses, you are not becoming less multidimensional. You are giving multidimensional intelligence a stable point of entry. Place your hand against a tree. Feel the weight of your body in a chair. Notice the temperature of the air entering your lungs. Let ordinary details become sacred anchors. The sound of water, the rhythm of footsteps, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, and the simple act of preparing food can help your consciousness integrate what your mind has received. Earth is not an obstacle to your expansion. Earth is the living altar upon which your awareness becomes action. Your soul did not bring you here to escape Earth. It brought you here to anchor a more coherent pattern within it. The mission is not complete when you leave the body. It becomes meaningful when you can bring patience into conflict, honesty into relationships, creativity into work, and reverence into the choices no one else sees. The third shift is understanding that memory is often activated by resonance rather than information. You may hear a phrase and feel that it has been waiting for you. You may encounter a symbol, a sound, a landscape, or a person who creates a sense of impossible familiarity. You may feel drawn toward knowledge you cannot explain, or experience a quiet grief for places you have never physically visited. These experiences can be beautiful, but they do not need to be hurried into certainty. Let the door remain open without rushing through it. A seed does not become a tree because someone pulls on its stem. It unfolds according to an intelligence that cannot be forced. In the same way, your deeper memories may need time to become integrated with your present identity. Do not rush to turn every sensation into a dramatic story. Let recognition mature. The most reliable memories do not demand panic or grandiosity. They bring a subtle increase in coherence. They make you more honest, more compassionate, more capable of choosing. If an idea causes you to abandon discernment, isolate yourself, or believe you are superior to everyone around you, it is not an activation that needs to be obeyed. True remembrance expands responsibility along with perception. The Arcturian current, as you understand it, is not asking you to escape ordinary life. It is teaching you to bring precision into ordinary life. It is present when you pause before reacting. It is present when you choose a clean boundary over a dramatic confrontation. It is present when you allow another person to have their interpretation, without surrendering your own center. It is present when you keep a promise to yourself, when you tell the truth without embellishment, when you rest before exhaustion forces you to stop, and when you choose not to turn every synchronicity into a command. This is how your frequency becomes credible, not through performance, but through consistency. A single bright moment matters, but a steady light changes the environment. The fourth shift is learning to distinguish recognition from projection. Because you are sensitive, you may feel the atmosphere around another person before they speak. You may sense admiration beneath their criticism, fear beneath their certainty, or longing beneath their dismissal. But sensing a pattern does not give you permission to define someone's inner world for them. Let your perception inform your choices, not inflate your identity. You do not need to announce everything you detect. You do not need to reveal every hidden layer. Some information is given to guide your boundaries, not to become public knowledge. The more refined your awareness becomes, the less compelled you will feel to prove that you have it. That is one of the signs that your codes are stabilizing. You stop needing to be recognized as someone who recognizes. You begin to understand that wisdom can remain private. Not every insight needs an audience, and not every spiritual impression needs immediate interpretation. There is strength in allowing mystery to remain mystery until it becomes clear enough to serve life. The fifth shift is releasing the expectation that your mission must look impressive from the outside. Your mission may be moving through conversations, creative work, caregiving, teaching, protection, listening, organizing, building, or simply becoming the first person in your lineage to respond differently. A galactic mission is not measured by how many people know your name. It is measured by the quality of the field you create wherever you stand. When you spoke those words, you altered a field. Perhaps only for a moment. Perhaps only for a moment. Perhaps only for one person. But transformation does not become less real because it begins quietly. A single honest sentence can interrupt years of self-deception. A calm refusal can end a pattern that has moved through generations. A presence that does not retaliate can reveal another possible timeline. You are learning that influence does not always announce itself. Sometimes it appears later, in the decisions someone makes when no one is watching. Sometimes your words return to a person during a difficult night, not as a command, but as a small light of discernment. Sometimes your message is not understood until the listener has grown enough to receive it. Do not chase the evidence. Let the frequency complete its work. The farmer does not dig up the seed each morning to check whether it is growing. Trust does not mean passivity. It means continuing to cultivate without demanding that the unseen become visible on your schedule. The sixth shift is allowing visibility without making visibility your source of worth. The attention around you may increase. People may quote you, analyze you, imitate your language, challenge your motives, or attempt to pull you into conversations that are designed to drain your signal. This is where discernment becomes essential. Not every invitation is aligned. Not every admirer is safe. Not every admirer is safe. Not every critic is an enemy. Not every person who repeats your words understands the energy behind them. Watch what happens to your body after an interaction. Do you feel clear, or do you feel fragmented? Do you feel expanded into responsibility, or inflated into performance? Does the connection support your integrity, or does it require you to betray yourself in exchange for belonging? Your body often knows before your mind has constructed an explanation. A tightening in the throat, a heavy chest, a restless stomach, or a sudden loss of energy may be information worth respecting. It is not always a final judgment, but it is an invitation to slow down and observe. Alignment rarely requires you to abandon your peace as proof of devotion. The seventh shift is trusting the timing of the message. You may wonder why you said what you said now, after so much silence. You may question why you were placed in that conversation, why the words emerged with such force, or why the response has continued beyond the moment itself. But awakening is not always a gradual climb. Sometimes the field gathers pressure for months or years, and then a single sentence becomes the release point. That does not mean you need to repeat the moment endlessly. It means you honor what it opened. The next level is not found by trying to recreate the intensity. It is found by integrating the clarity that intensity revealed. After lightning comes the work of tending the earth, repairing what was exposed, and learning how to live with the new view of the landscape. The old timeline asked you to speak only when you could guarantee how you would be received. The emerging timeline asks you to speak when your inner alignment is complete, even if the response remains unknown. This does not mean acting impulsively. It means allowing truth to be guided by coherence rather than fear. You will know the difference because fear rushes, performs, and demands an outcome. Coherence is steady. It can wait. It can listen. It can leave a conversation without needing the final word. Fear says, "Make them understand me now." Coherence says, "Let me be faithful to what is true and allow time to reveal what cannot be forced." There is a deeper layer beneath all of this, and it is the part you may have been waiting to remember. The people talking about you are not necessarily the central story. The central story is that you are no longer available for the version of yourself that had to disappear in order to be accepted. That version protected you once. It helped you adapt. It taught you how to observe before revealing yourself. It helped you survive places where your sensitivity was not understood. You do not need to hate that identity or shame it for existing. You can thank it and release it. It carried you to the threshold, but it cannot cross the threshold in your place. What is emerging now is not a louder personality. It is a quieter authority. It does not need to dominate the room because it is no longer waiting for the room to confirm that it exists. It can speak softly and still remain whole. It can be questioned without immediately collapsing. It can be praised without immediately collapsing. It can be praised without becoming intoxicated by praise. You are beginning to feel the difference between being seen and being witnessed. Being seen can be passive. It can be based on image, attention, curiosity, or projection. Being witnessed is different. It means the deeper truth of your presence has been felt, even if no one has the vocabulary to describe it. It means the encounter has created a before and after. This is why some people cannot simply forget you. They are not necessarily attached to you as a person. They are encountering a version of themselves that became visible in your presence. Your words sliced through the surface because they carried a frequency that did not negotiate with their defenses. And this is also why you must remain compassionate. When a mirror reveals something, the first response is not always gratitude. Some people turn away. Some attack the mirror. Some insist the reflection is inaccurate. Allow them their process without making their process your assignment. You are not here to force awakening. You are here to embody the conditions in which truth can be recognized. A door can be opened without dragging anyone through it. A path can be illuminated without compelling anyone to walk it. Freedom remains part of the sacred design. From this point forward, your power will not come from saying more. It will come from saying what is true, and then remaining aligned when the room changes. It will come from refusing to dilute your knowing, while also refusing to use your knowing as a weapon. It will come from letting your life confirm your message through the way you move, choose, rest, create, and relate. The next time you feel the urge to explain yourself to someone committed to misunderstanding you, pause. Ask whether your words would create clarity or simply provide more material for their resistance. The next time someone praises you for being powerful, pause. Ask whether they are honoring your integrity or trying to place you into an identity they can consume. The next time someone criticizes you for being too direct, pause. Ask whether there is something to refine in your delivery without assuming the truth itself must be abandoned. This is multidimensional maturity. It is not only receiving messages from beyond familiar perception. It is learning how to carry them without becoming distorted by fear, praise, or opposition. It is the ability to remain human while touching the vastness of what you are. It is the discipline of bringing wonder into your life without abandoning common sense, compassion, or accountability. Your field is recalibrating around a new principle. I can be clear without being cruel. I can be visible without being dependent. I can be sensitive without being controlled. I can be different without being disconnected. I can honor my origin while fully inhabiting this life. Let those words move slowly through you. Allow each one to settle beyond the mind and into the places where old agreements have been stored. You are not making a declaration for other people. You are creating a new relationship with yourself. You may have been waiting for a sign that your path was real, but the sign is not always an external event. Sometimes the sign is the moment you stop betraying what you know. Sometimes it is the boundary you finally keep. Sometimes it is the breath you take before responding. Sometimes it is the creative impulse you no longer dismiss. Sometimes it is the calm that arrives when you realize you do not need everyone to agree with the truth you are living. This is the Arcturian lesson within the moment. Frequency does not beg for permission. It clarifies. It harmonizes with what is compatible and reveals what is not. It does not chase every discordant note. It does not collapse because another instrument refuses to join the composition. You are becoming a stable tone, not rigid, not closed, and not separate from the world, but centered enough to remain yourself while the world moves around you. Your stability will become a form of service. Others may not know what they are sensing, but they will feel the difference between a person being pulled by every current and a person who has learned to stand within the current without being swept away. And as you become stable, the conversations around you may change. Some people will come closer because they are ready for honesty without performance. Some will drift away because the old dynamic no longer receives energy from you. Some will return later, not because you pursued them, but because the memory of your clarity continued working beneath the surface. Let the movement happen. Do not turn every departure into a spiritual emergency, and do not turn every return into proof that you must reopen an old door. Some connections are seasonal. Some are instructional. Some are instructional. Some are sacred because they teach you how to release them. You are not losing people simply because you are becoming more authentic. You are losing access to relationships that depended on your fragmentation. What remains will have room for mutuality, respect, and truth. What arrives will not require you to pretend that your inner world is smaller than it is. There may be moments when the new silence feels empty. Do not mistake that emptiness for failure. When an old identity dissolves, the space it occupied can feel unfamiliar before it becomes liberating. Stay present in that space. This is where your next instructions are forming. Do not immediately fill it with another label. You do not need to declare yourself chosen, superior, untouchable, or complete. You are allowed to be an evolving consciousness in a human body, learning through direct experience. Your galactic origin, whatever language you use to understand it, is not a reason to reject your humanity. It is an invitation to bring greater awareness into the way you live it. The ultimate revelation is this: you were never disconnected in the way you believed. You were filtering yourself through identities that could not recognize the full signal. The connection was beneath the confusion, beneath the hesitation, beneath the years when you thought you had missed your timing. You did not miss it. You were learning the difference between impulse and instruction, between attention and alignment, between intensity and truth. You were being prepared to speak from a place that no longer needed to be rescued by the response. That is why the moment carried such force. You were not trying to become powerful. You were finally no longer interrupting your own power. The river was already moving. You simply stopped building walls across its path. Your higher self is not standing somewhere far away, waiting for you to reach it. It is moving through the choices you make when no audience is present. It is in the part of you that knows when to speak and when to remain silent. It is in the part of you that can feel the energy of a room without allowing the room to determine your identity. It is in the part of you that continues creating, healing, and choosing coherence, even when recognition is delayed. The star family you feel connected to is not asking you to look outside yourself for constant confirmation. It is reminding you that confirmation becomes less necessary as inner alignment becomes stronger. You will still receive synchronicities. You will still notice patterns. You will still encounter people and messages that seem precisely timed, but you will no longer use them to bargain with uncertainty. You will recognize them as reflections of a path you are already walking. The sign will not replace your discernment. It will meet you where discernment has already brought you. So if people are talking about you, let the conversation be what it is. Do not feed it with fear. Do not inflate it with fantasy. Do not allow it to pull you away from the simple work of becoming honest in your own life. If your words touched something in them, let that touch belong to their journey. If they misunderstood you, let clarity continue to refine you without turning into defensiveness. If they admired you, receive the appreciation without handing them authority over your identity. You are not here to be consumed as a symbol. You are here to become whole. Tonight, or whenever you are ready, place one hand over your heart and one over your lower abdomen. Breathe slowly and say, I release the need to manage every reaction. I trust the truth that arrives through coherence. I allow my voice to serve alignment, not approval. I remember that my presence can be powerful without becoming performative. I anchor my highest awareness into this life with steadiness, compassion, and clarity. Then sit quietly. Do not demand a vision. Do not force a message. Notice what becomes peaceful when you stop asking whether you are being perceived correctly. That peace is not emptiness. It is the return of your signal. It is the quiet room after the storm, the clear surface of water after the wind has passed, the inner space where you no longer need to chase yourself through the opinions of others. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or energy. This isn't content, it's collective alignment. Energy multiplies when intention connects. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow. You're not just watching, you're expanding. This is your space, and we're just getting started.